Young Turks brought to you by Busted Tees. Go to bustedtees.com and enter promo code Young Turks to get 10% off your order. Okay, so researchers are looking at MRI scans to see whether or not physical pain and emotional pain triggers the same responses in our brains. And they were surprised to find that, yes, it does. So they look at MRI scans, and they had 21 women and 19 men as respondents. And what they did is, first, they made them feel a little bit of physical pain by putting like a heating pad on their arms, and it made them feel the same pain that you would feel if you held a cup of coffee without a sleeve, right? And then they looked at the brain scan, and they saw that it triggered a change in blood flow in the brain. And then after that, they had these people look at photos and basically remember someone that they really loved that they recently broke up with. And then they looked at the MRI scans, and they saw that it triggers the exact same reaction. Pretty fascinating stuff.
So it triggers the same reaction of pain when you remember breakups as it does when you feel actual physical pain.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not at all surprised by that. I think it probably triggers even worse pain receptors. Luckily, I didn't have that disastrous of breakups in my life, but I know other guys and girls that have gone through it, and it seems like they've been shot. I mean, they're like, whoa! They're like, oh, she left me. What am I going to do? I'm like, all right, dude, I know. Your pain receptors are through the roof. Just please calm down for a second. So I'm not surprised by that study.
Right, and look, the thing that's interesting about this is the fact that, our emotions play a huge role in the physical pain that we do feel, okay? Our mind controls a lot of what we feel physically. Like, for instance, before the show started, we were talking about insomnia and, how a lot of people have a hard time sleeping because they basically freak themselves out while they're trying to sleep, right? It's their emotions getting to them. For instance, I'm having a hard time sleeping lately, and the reason why is because as I'm sleeping, I'm constantly worried about whether or not I'm going to get enough sleep. So all of my emotions and the stress and everything basically affects me physically. So I don't know, I love this story because it's going to help doctors find ways to treat the physical pain that people feel, but basically by treating the emotional pain that they feel.
All right, now we are going to get to the second TMI moment in this segment alone. Okay, where I tell you about once how I was crying during a breakup.
Okay, go ahead.
Disaster on the way. Now, it was a mutual breakup. Nobody, dumped anybody else. We were high school sweethearts, and we were going to go to two different colleges. I dropped her off at her college, and then I got in the car and I drove back. And as I was driving back, I was rather emotional, 18-year-old gentleman, and I started to cry. And I remember it was such a deep cry that I started to do the.
You were hyperventilating?
Which is as deeply embarrassing as it gets, so that's why I shouldn't share that information. Part of the reason I tell you that is because I don't want you to think, like, oh, I'm a tough guy, oh, I never had any tough breakups or anything. Part of the reason is because it's funny. And my friend Bora, who lives in Turkey, says whenever he's depressed or down, he remembers me crying like that because I told him the story. And he's like, it always cheers him up.
That is really fun. I'm surprised that you told that story. So you were 18 years old, and that was your reaction to. Yeah. Was it a girl that you were severely in love with? Like, what made this girl special?
You know what I love sometimes is Anna's adjectives. A girl that I was severely in love with.
Right.
No, yeah, of course we were in love. We were kids, etc. And it was like. We thought it was logical that that we not date anymore. We of course wound up getting back together, breaking up, getting back together like 8 more times. But it was like there was nothing acrimonious about it at all. But yeah, I felt very emotional towards her, obviously, and that's why. Look, dude, I'm an emotional guy, man. When I break up with girls, I almost always cry. Whether and it's usually, I don't mean to sound this in a dickish way, but it's usually a mutual decision or I initiated it or something, and I still feel very emotional about it because we spent some time together. You know, girl you went out with for a year, 2 years, 4 years, whatever it might be. So, and I'm not afraid to express those emotions, okay, Anna?
Yeah, this conversation went from being interesting to being a little unbearable. Like, oh, I felt so close to her, and I spent some time with her, and it was a part of my life that I'll never forget. Like, you're such a cream puff, Cenk. It's so funny because you always come off as like this tough guy on the show. You know, a guy that has a little bit of a temper, kind of a badass, and then once in a while your cream puff side shows, and it's amusing.
So I don't know what you're talking about. I am very, very tough, Anna. Okay? I can use my emotions as a tool or as a weapon.
If you're looking for a cool t-shirt, all you have to do is go to bustedtees.com. Pop culture, politics, science fiction. Some of their t-shirts have been featured in movies like Knocked Up and in television shows like Scrubs. Their shirts are made in the United States and they're sweatshop free. So if you want to pick up one of these snazzy tees, all you have to do is go to bustedtees.com, enter promo code Young Turks, and you get 10% off your order.